Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is Season 4 Empire of Thorns, where we have currently High Service Claudio in Maurice Renard's office. Um, Claudio has asked Maurice to be a neutral party in the discussion of the well being and care of his children with Iris, and the two are sitting in his office. His office is surprisingly rather plain. It's got a large desk with two chairs on one side and two chairs on the other. Normally there would only be the one, but he has commandeered an extra armchair for Claudio. And the two are sitting and waiting for Iris and Tam to show up.
So Iris will make her way towards the room. She's given the layout. It might not come across that Maurice is particularly neutral in this, but she'll give him a bit of a smile anyway.
He'll smile. There's 4 cups of tea out on the desk. Lemon ginger, because he knows that's what Iris prefers. A little thing of honey.
Quite unusually for her, she doesn't actually add honey to the lemon and ginger. Most of the time she does, but she doesn't today. And she'll take a seat and look to Tam and wait for him to take a seat.
He'll flop down on the floor. Claudio will walk in a few minutes later with an armful of stuff that he'll put on Maurice's desk with a I'm done look. Like, there is. I did my job.
He'll look at the pile of paperwork.
All of it. Filed in order alphabetically and labeled.
Alright, have a seat.
He'll sit down.
Yeah, Claudio's teacup doesn't have tea in it, it has espresso.
Oh, thank God. He looks loved all of a sudden. He'll stop and he'll take a sip of it. Kind of like smile. He's waiting for anybody else to start this rodeo. I take it for you to come up with kind of a more concrete plan as to what we're doing.
I've come up with an idea.
Oh?
We haven't really discussed it yet. That's kind of why we're here, but
Well, by all means. It's your idea.
I'm giving birth tomorrow, and I don't have time to set up a whole new nursery by then. So
I've already said you could have the house.
I
Did the king not let you know?
he did, I'm just starting with that. So it might not be the most comfortable situation all round, but I suppose it's going to have to start there, and then I'll work things out after that.
I was never particularly tied to that house. If you want to keep it, you're free to. I just got it because it was close to the courts. I mean, it's already set up. It's already, well, but I guess it's up to you.
She's going to give him a fairly complicated, sad look.
Well, it's up to you and Tim, I guess, where you go. You are welcome to stay there. Permanently.
She'll nod. I don't know if it will ever feel like it's not yours.
Shrug. It's alright.
I'm not blaming you, I'm just explaining. So does that for at least the first few weeks, and like I said, kind of work that bit out afterwards. The names.
What about them?
Well, when we decided that their surname was going to be Donati, I thought it was going to be mine too. And that's not going to happen, so I don't know. I don't know. I really don't.
What don't you know? I don't possess the ability to read your mind. I'll shrug. What don't you know?
I'd be surprised if you could read it. I'm struggling quite a lot at the moment, but I don't know how I feel about them being Donatis.
They are.
They are, but they're also me.
Well, then we'll give one of them the last name Weft and the other last name Donati. Although your last name could change, or mine certainly won't. Regardless of the fact that I will never wed. I run absolutely zero risk of my last name changing. Ever. So...
You still might, just
No.
it's not likely to change.
No, I'm not going to. Ever.
How do you know?
Because all desire to has died in me. That's how I know. And it's not one that's going to come back. I'll look down at his hands. I would prefer them to have my last name, but if you don't want them to, then my recommendation is that one be Donati and one be West. But bearing in mind that your last name could change down the line. And then your child would not only be stuck with the last name that you chose after leaving your durance, it's not your legal quote-unquote name. If anything, I'd tell you to give them the name that you went by in life.
Green would be very fitting for the Supreme Court.
And I would recommend one be named Donati and one be named Green. If they were not both given my last name. But it is traditional to name children after their father, especially when their father wishes to be involved in their life.
And do you?
Do I wish to be involved in my children's life? I'll blink at her.
She's just gonna shrug, like he's turned her entire world and her view of him topsy-turvy in the last few days, so she is really not sure what to think.
Do you plan to be involved in their lives?
She nods.
I'll give her a, there's your answer, face.
Maurice will look to Claudio. May I?
Sure, of course.
He'll reach into his desk drawer and pull out his checkbook. And he will write out a blank check. And he will hand that check to Iris.
And she's going to give him a very confused look.
You said that the home that Claudio is offering you will never feel like it belongs to you. Is that correct?
I said I don't know if it will. I had so many dreams and expectations about what our family was going to be like living there, and it's all going to be different.
And he'll slide the check over and he'll take her hand in his. Take your time. And if you find that it's not something that you can bear, pick out your home.
I'm kind of hoping that my hollow will respond the same way it did to all the other hobs. And make a place for them. But I can't rely on that. So, thank you.
And if you do find that this home that already exists is what you need, take the check, get new drapes, get new furniture, buy yourself some clothes. And he just shrugs.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
And she'll notice that it's not a check that has anything to do with the courts. It's just his name.
To be fair, she probably won't notice that till later. But yes.
When she notices, it has nothing to do with anything about the course. It's actually got his corporate information on it.
Yeah. Like I said, she probably won't notice that right now. She's just going to put it away, feeling somewhat numb. But she'll notice that later.
Now we have the matter of your financial stability, Iris.
As I said, I'm willing to obviously support the mother of my children. He's not crying out of game, by the way. My nose is running really bad. He's just quiet. I'm just kind of focusing on his hands.
Now, to me, there's a difference between support and hindrance.
Nod.
To me, support is making sure that the children have clothes, they have all of their needs met. If you so choose to take a home on the outside, the lights stay on, the water stays hot, and Iris, you stay fed. Beyond that, and he'll look to Iris. What are your plans?
I never really needed that much to begin with. Like I said, I had my hollow and it was big enough, and it might still be, or it might not be, or we've kind of sorted that bit out. And other than that, I mean, the only things I spent any of the money that Claudio gave me on was groceries and clothes, and that was mostly because he seemed to like other clothes. And one time renting a storage locker to keep a oven that connected to an evil alternate, well, somewhere in the hedge that was really not very pleasant, and they were coming out. And but the point is, one storage locker. Other than that, I don't really need much. Oh, and stuff for the kids I bought too. But that's about it.
But now, what is your plan for your career?
If I'm honest, my plan right now is mostly just to get through the first month. I've been reading up on it, and it's a little worrying with two of them to worry about, and I'm not sure how much time I'll have for anything else.
You will have me to help you. I plan on... You're not a single parent.
I know.
You'll have Liam, you'll have the court, you'll have... You're not... Once you've given birth, you're no more responsible for them than I am. And it's not a responsibility I plan to shirk.
I'm going to be feeding them. I was planning on breastfeeding that. That takes a lot of time. Or at least the books seem to say it does.
You can come.
Or we could get donated milk.
She'll shake her head.
What's the problem with that?
Well, I could, but isn't the whole point in my making the milk in the first place that they drink it?
Well, yes, but not every woman breastfeeds, and not all demands can be met. I mean,
But if I can,
yes, but if I'm caring for them, or I want to spend time with them, it severely limits my ability to, if I can't. He frowns deeply.
And with all due respect, Iris, that is if you actually have the physical ability.
I know. I know.
It could come about that you just physically don't produce.
I already have been.
Beyond that, there are part of the reason, unless you tied yourself down to nothing but the children for the first few months, it makes upholding duties to the court rough. In joining the court, you vowed to Ferran that you would give in equal measure.
She nods.
I don't want to see that oath stretched.
I don't want to either. But it's not like I can't do things in the hour or two between feedings or at the same time even.
Maurice will raise an eyebrow and hold up a finger. So, if, for example, a surgeon were to have children, and be feeding, would you expect them to stop open heart surgery to go and nourish their children?
I'm not saying that we can't pump and use bottles if we need to. I just want to try and do as much as possible without it.
As long as it doesn't restrict my ability to see them or spend time. You guys can make me a wit sympathy roll if you want.
You can too if you want, by the way. And I failed, but you probably won't.
Alright, I got 2 on Claudio.
If ever somebody roll 9 die for me for him, because I can't roll at the moment.
9, you said?
Yeah, 9. He's got 9 die for what's good.
Yeah, she really isn't trying to keep Claudio away from the babies. She really isn't.
How many successes did he get?
He got 2.
Roll me a willpower for him.
How many?
His willpower is 7. He needs to pass this roll, by the way.
He got 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
She really isn't, by the way, with the successes, she's really not trying to keep him away from the babies. It's just every time she visualized this before now.
It's fine. He just has a derangement going on right now, that's all.
It was him spending time with the babies and her either, you know...
I know. As I said, he's got a derangement going on right now.
Yeah.
So...
No, I'm just explaining the empathy rolls.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But it's part of how he's going to perceive it because of his derangement right now.
Okay.
Maurice, you can make me a roll.
Well.
It's with empathy.
4.
For a moment, he got hella hyper suspicious. With your empathy checks, you know that frankly is something that women can use against fathers to like keep them from their kids. And he, for a second, did get like, oh hell no, what? But he logicked it out, and he's gonna have an underlying suspicion that he kind of can't kick as a paranoia, because he's rocking the paranoia derangement right now. But he let it go, which to you denotes that he accepts that apparently she's not playing him like that right now. But he certainly did think it for a moment. I think it would be best if we codified a visitation plan right now. Don't you? Kind of turning to Maurice.
Yep, he's been taking notes the whole time.
Well, We can try and come up with something.
At that, Maurice will put down his pen and he'll push the glasses that he's wearing back up the bridge of his nose and look at her. At this point, Miss West, there is no more try. This is what has to happen. And as much as I'm trying my very best to be sensitive to everyone's emotions here, this should be settled now so that the children are not affected in the long term. This goes beyond the two of you.
I think what you're trying to say, Your Majesty, is that you would prefer language that involves the word try avoided. Is that your concern?
He'll nod and pick his pen back up.
Yes, Your Majesty. He'll look at Iris and he'll say, apparently His Majesty would prefer more concrete vocabulary. And he'll nod respectfully at that. Tam will squeeze her leg from under the table, by the way. Like, comfortingly.
And she'll take her hands that up till this point she's been staring at kind of in her lap, and one of them will go to stroke Tam's hair, which is as much to comfort herself as him.
Do we want to do every weekend? One weekend with me, one weekend with you? Alternating holidays? I mean, that seems fair, right? One week with me, one week with you? Or kind of tilt his head like, I'm trying.
She looks more than a little bit broken right now, to be fair. Like, she's trying her hardest to work out what she should say, and it's still coming up with nothing.
Somebody roll me 7 dice.
Lots of successes.
I need the exact number.
3.
Okay. He kind of bites his lip. I'm trying to think of what's fair for the both of us. It just seems it would be fair if we had them for an equal amount of time.
Would you spend all that time with them, though?
You can roll me with sympathy.
Only the ones that pass.
Two.
He's getting angry. Like, really angry.
Rather than weeks, maybe you take evenings when you're less likely to be busy working, or mornings, or weekends, or something. I just
don't think it would be very conducive to them if we moved them around that much. I think a daily
Then we
thing.
move us.
What?
There's the house, and the nursery's in the house, and we keep them there and we move us.
What in mercy's name?
I don't know,
I can set up and furnish a nursery. That's not the problem.
I just
don't think moving them daily would be a good idea.
It's just I don't know what I'm doing with any of this. I've never even broken up with someone before then and have to deal with everything else to do with it. I'm trying to make sense of it and it's not really working. But I know your job is really important to you, so
my children are far more important to me than my job. And they always will be. And I'm sure His Majesty understands that. Looking over at Maurice.
Maurice nods.
And she's going to give him a really not melancholy. Melancholy is probably the best word for it. And if you want to figure out more about what that look is, then feel free to roll. But she does give him a very melancholy look.
Which hymn? There's like 4 in the room, by the way. There's a couple hymns. Though again, I will need somebody to roll for me.
How many?
What's the roll?
With sympathy.
That's 10 dice for your dear Thirst here.
Yeah, that's more than enough. She's a little bit surprised that he said that, while at the same time glad that he said that, while at the same time slightly wistful that he never said that about them as a family, all of them.
Yeah.
The last bit Maurice probably doesn't quite get, but yeah, that is the look that she gives him.
Huh?
How many successes did Maurice get?
He just got one.
Yeah, Maurice probably just gets that she was slightly surprised but happy about him saying that the children would always come first. And that there was something sad there, but what is a bit confusing. Whereas Claudio can pick up on all of that. And can probably remember the conversation that might have made her surprised.
Maurice will give her like a questioning look.
Is she going to respond to?
Yeah, he's looking at her like and then look.
You made the face, BB, not me! Where's she going?
She's just basically sitting there feeling completely lost. Because she doesn't have anything to draw on for this at all. And she's trying her best, but it's really not getting her very far.
Children. How are we going to divide our time? If I need to make it clear that my time with them is my first priority right now, then there you go.
I think after the first month, one week with one of us and one with the other makes sense. And there's this hugely defeated look on her as she says this. And her shoulders are more than a little bit slumped.
Maybe it's best then that I stay in the house as well.
She nods.
And take the guest room. After that, I plan on living in the court. So, my accommodations in the court can be outfitted to support the care of 2 children. Or do I have permission for that? Kind of looking at the king consort, making sure it's alright first.
He nods.
Might have to re-outfit my dwellings. Looking to remodel anyway. Your Majesty, can you think of anything that might present itself that she and I are overlooking?
The one thing that needs to be stated, your time that you're allotted on paper on this legal document with your children, and to look to each of them, is what you decide to make of it. If Sarastinati has a meeting to attend during his time and has Liam or any of his associates take care of the children, that is his decision, and it is within his parental rights to make that. Just as on your end, Ms. West, if you do find some kind of employment here in the courts, which we're working on, and it's your day with the children, it's within your rights to have Liam watch them, have Tamerlane watch them, myself. That's your choice. And it's okay. Just because it's your time with them does not mean that you are tied down for that entire 24-hour, 7-day period.
Claudio will nod. Thank you, Your Majesty.
Do you understand that, Iris?
She nods.
You're going to need mommy breaks. And that's okay.
I think we both agree that we want to see what's best for them. Did we come to a decision on their names?
No, we didn't.
As I said, I would prefer that they bear my name, but It's something I'm willing to compromise on.
You already said that the middle name for a boy had to be Cassian.
Yes, technically it does. Although there is a loophole with that. I like the name. I would prefer to make my child's middle name Cassian. Our child. But there is a technicality that could get me out of it. It doesn't seem like he's going to offer what it is, by the way. I think their first names are fine. Even their middle names. It's the last names, I think, are a question.
Though, if we did change the last names, then I'd probably want to change to Claudia.
I would prefer that my son bear my surname. So, it would be fair then that it would be our female child that took your last name. Though again, I point out to you that if you do give that child your last name, you think about the last name you give them, because your last name is one you chose leaving the hedge. And if you remarry, your name will change again. And then your daughter will be stuck, our daughter. You're stuck with a name that is the other choice is to give them the last name that those that belong to the court don't have last names get. To keep things neutral. It would bear the king's last name, Baudelaire.
I guess it's just everything has been what you've decided. Um, mine too. And admittedly, it's only been 1 month, not mine, but it's not been fun, and and part of me too.
Of course they are. Which is why I said that I would be more than willing to discuss the matter, to compromise on it. But your last name, as I pointed out, is one that if you marry will change, and you would be giving our daughter for the rest of her life that ties into an identity that is very personal to you. My last name is a legacy. It is old, and it has carried through centuries and generations. And I am their father. And you are their mother. Traditionally, children do bear their father's last name.
Traditionally, children spend the majority of the time with their mothers. I don't think we want to go down that route.
He'll lace his fingers over his stomach and wait.
May I point something out?
I'll look at Maurice.
There is also a measure of respect and protection that will come with Claudio's surname. No offense to your name at all, Iris, but he is a man of high respect.
When we decided to have kids, when Claudio decided that we were going to have kids, every single way I imagined it, it was all of us spending time together, and now it's all getting divided up, and it just feels like this is one more thing that he gets. Like he gets to decide, and he gets to, and
I've decided nothing. But if you don't make the decision, someone has to.
everything that I have seen so far, you have approved of, Iris. You say that Claudio made the decision to have children, but you both made them together, did you not? This is a journey that you're taking together. And it's changed, and it is what it is. But it doesn't mean that you're doing it any less together.
Then why does it feel like we're dividing them up? Like we're dividing their time up. We're just dividing them up between us. It's not together. It's 1 week with him, 1 week with me. It's not together.
Then maybe the best choice is to divide them. I take one, you take the other.
I can't do that.
Yes, you can.
No, I can't.
No, you're choosing not to. You literally have the ability. It won't kill you.
So what, I'm supposed to choose which of them I love more, which of them I'd rather keep, which of them I'd rather give away?
Not that choice. That's not what the choice is. I'm sorry if it feels that way. I would be doing the same. Except it's not which one you love more. It's not which one you want to keep. It's just the way the die falls. It can literally come down to that. But we could do that. I could take the boy and you could have the girl. Keep them full time, bring them together to see each other and interact. It would spare them from... It would spare us from having to separate ourselves for a time from them. I would miss whichever one didn't come to me, and I'm sure you'd miss whichever one came to you. But it's an option. Then you could make your choices without any influence from me, and I could make my choices, if you believe, without any influence from you. Something I feel you feel a bit more strongly about, but it's something I respect. Then neither of us would have to deal with being away from them for a time.
I just want both of them to know that they have both of us whenever they need us. And not half the time.
May I ask a question of both of you?
He'll nod.
Are either of you planning on moving to Australia?
No.
Shake his head.
Are any of you planning on moving outside of New York City?
No.
No.
Are either of you planning on leaving the Spring Court?
Mm-mm.
Shakes her
Well,
head.
you act as if you're putting an ocean between each other. When really it's just a few feet.
What if, instead of saying that I spend 1 week with one of us and 1 week with the other of us, we go, there's 1 week where you get to decide how much time they spend with and who with, and 1 week where I get to decide the same, and we try and spend some time with them together, even if we're not together. And if you have a meeting and if you're okay with it and it's your week, then I look after them, and the same the other way.
He just looks at her with a slow blink of wow.
As I said before, it's your choice to decide what you do with your time.
That only made things more unclear.
He takes his glasses off and folds them and sets them down on the table in front of him. My time and patience are now running short. This is what we're going to do. Hold on, let me put my king hat on right now. And he picks up an imaginary crown and sets it on his head. Iris, the door to your hollow could be moved anywhere, correct?
Probably.
I think he meant that rhetorically. He kind of like...
Well, I'm sorry if I'm hormonal and messed up and I don't know whether I'm coming or going, okay?
Okay, well, I'm gonna make it simple for you. You're both going to move into the Spring Court. We'll put the door to your hollow in the Spring Court. So you still have your established home. I will personally see to it that your hollow is equipped for your children, that there is enough room. I will use my authority to add on to your home. Furthermore, your homes will be not in the same hallway, but in the same section of the building, for respect and privacy. So technically you'll be living in the same dwelling, but in separate wings. Custody will be shared, as discussed. After the first month, 1 week per, alternating holidays. Their education will be seen to by the spring court as appropriate. Any questions so far?
No, Your Majesty.
Iris is just going to give a small shake of her head. She's somewhat folded in on herself, but she's been a bit slumped for the majority of the meetings, so.
As per their last name. I'll pause for a moment.
They can have the last name Donati.
Now, it does bring to memory that you wish your children the right to make their own choices. Is that correct, Iris?
She nods.
So this is my proposal for you both. At birth, they will be given the last name of the court. And then they will have until their 13th birthday to make the decision of what name they'd like to take.
Claudio will tilt his head.
They can have the last name Donati. They can still choose to change it if they want.
Do you not like Maurice's suggestion? I think it pays respect to you.
It does.
Then why don't we do that?
Or if you do not like the name of the court, we can call them Green until their 13th birthday.
I'd like that. It would be nice.
He'll look to Claudio.
He'll clench his jaw and swallow, but he'll nod.
Or we could call them Purple, or Dandelion, or Candy Floss.
He'll actually look down at the floor.
Iris has mostly been looking at the floor through the majority of this conversation, but
And in the softest voice humanly fucking possible, while still being audible, he'll say, "What about Tivoli?"
we could go with Tivoli, but then we'd need a new first name for the boy. I'm guessing at this point, Tam will probably have a bit of a reaction.
He'll kind of lift a brow and look up.
Because we hadn't actually mentioned the first names at all.
We'll name him Luciano. Luciano, sorry. He'll say, "We'll name him Luciano. Luciano Tivoli. Cassian Tivoli." And the girl can stay Tamsin.
That sounds good.
Okay, good. Maurice will write that down. Now, in 1 year, the four of us are going to sit down and have this conversation again. We'll see how they've grown. We'll see how we've changed. And we'll make adjustments accordingly.
He'll nod.
Iris will nod too.
I know that there's a lot of change that can happen in a short time.
Certainly not so far.
Let's see what the next year brings.
Claudio will nod. There's a purr from under the desk.
And Maurice will lean.
Yeah, Iris is going to look down as well.
The cat will hop into Maurice's lap and nuzzle his shoulder.
Thank you for your approval. And he'll scratch behind his ear.
He'll lick his nose. You get the waves if you're the best motley mate ever.
I'll just chuckle and pet the cat.
He'll lay on his lap. Fuck it. Again, how somebody who's 6 feet tall can curl himself up as he does and balance and lay like he does on people is quite impressive in itself.
Huh? Cats are liquid.
Apparently he is. This is true. He'll lay on Maurice's lap and just purr. He's happy. He's good. We all good. Claudio just shake his head and chuckle at him like, "You fucking idiot."
Okay. I will have this all typed up. And we will notarize that this evening before birthday.
I believe William Stareyes will be at the meeting tonight.
He will.
Do you think we need him to look over this?
I think he'll be offended if he doesn't.
There's that whole notary part of his title. That and he's terrifying.
Claudio nods.
I mean, I know we're typing it up and all, but I kind of... Well, I thought it was more of an agreement between us, but she'll just shrug. She still looks pretty darn broken right now.
As much as I trust the intentions of you both, it's in the best interest of my court for it to be documented properly.
Claudio will nod.
There are way too many other things going on right now for me to have missed something small. With something so important as the children of my court. And on that note, unless either of you
No, Claudio, his eyes went wide for a second, like he realized something. And he smiles softly and kind of looks down.
and he'll look to him.
Oh, no, it was nothing. It was something I realized. Personally. Yep. Don't worry, please. Go on. Your Majesty.
Uh-huh. He'll look at Iris. Do you have anything else you need to add?
She'll shake her head.
And he'll look down at Tam in his lap.
Oh, he didn't realize he was being included in this. He'll nod.
Nod as in he's good, or nod as in he has something to add?
No, not as in, we good, we cool.
Okay.
Iris did ask him along for a reason.
Yeah, but this motherfucker, I cannot express, no, really passive.
Yep.
Yes, but he's also a cat, and if anything was said that would really, really piss him off, someone would have scratched ankles right now.
Yeah, but I just found out that Leon Messi got injured, so my whole brain just crashed like a train. Fuck me and my soccer.
Way to focus, Steve.
Hey, this is important. But go on, by all means. I'm just reading.
By all means, I'm going to kick you.
And this is how my character got his ass beat with ice cream.
Yes, essentially.
Go on, by all means. I don't have the button, so I can't end the scene.
I've got the button. I was just waiting for Maurice to encourage people to actually leave.
Yeah, he'll be like, all right, time to go. Time to go.
Get the fuck out of my office, fuck y'all, bye-bye.
I have an important meeting and I need to eat something.
If he actually does that, I'll lose my shit out of game.
He does.
Nice!
Right.
The High Serf just shakes his head like, oh god, and this is our king. Yes, he fits the king perfectly.
Iris
Walk out.
does not really have the energy or the heart right now to actually laugh at that, to be honest. She'll shuffle her way out the room almost.
And he'll gently shoo Tam. Go take care of her.
Hell nah, fuck you. He's standing on his lap. He's like, meow, meow, meow. It's like Velcro. You have to make some rolls, man.
Do you want to make those rolls, or shall I just end the scene here?
You can end the scene, and I'll fight with the cat some other time.